Hello lovelies, welcome back to Oh My Yum's Kitchen. I hope you all are doing well. In today's video, I will be sharing with you how I make this delicious coffee loaf. You're going to be needing some bread flour, 1 egg, some salt, instant coffee, some sugar, some powdered milk, yeast, all-purpose flour, and of course some warm water later on. You're going to start by adding your bread flour into a bowl. This is a very detailed recipe. Please pay attention to all the steps. Next, you're going to add your all-purpose flour. This is to bring some softness into your dough. You're going to add your powdered milk and you're going to come in with your salt at this point. I like to add my salt in before the yeast because salt and yeast are not friends, so it's always better to keep them separate. So mix your salt in to the other dry ingredients like so. I'd like to use this opportunity to thank you all for your amazing support. I really appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Next, you're going to be adding in some sugar, and today's flour mixture, we're going to be making use of 3 tablespoons of sugar. Do not worry, the full list of ingredients is in the description box below. Make sure to follow the exact measurement. Next, you're going to be adding in your yeast. Yeast and sugar, they love each other. Yeast feed on sugar, so you're going to mix everything in and just make sure everything is well distributed. And at this point, you're going to be coming in with your butter. This is unsalted butter. You want to make sure that your butter is at room temperature. That way it's easy for you to work into the flour. If you notice, I'm not working it with my hand because I don't want it to melt, but I'm working it with my spatula. So you want to continue to break it in like so until it's totally combined. Next, you're going to break your egg. So this is 1 egg and we're going to be using just half of this in the dough. So you're going to break your egg, whisk it, and you're going to keep half of this on the side for later use. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do well to hit the subscribe button. Please do not forget to hit the like button and leave me a comment as well. Thank you. So here I went ahead to add half of the egg into this flour mixture. Next, you're going to be coming in with your warm water. Please make sure your water is warm and not hot. If it's too hot, it's going to kill your yeast. Make sure it is warm and make sure you add in the water slowly because flour do react or behave to water differently, so you want to be careful. So I went in with my water and I was still mixing everything together with my spatula. At this point, I'll do that until the dry ingredients are combined, and then I would be transferring it to the mat to knead it. But you know what, if you want a quick fix, you can always put this in your food processor. I do have a food processor that I can use, but I always notice that the outcome is different when I do it by hand. So if you want to go the quick route, you can always make use of your food processor. That would be fine as well. So I'm going to be kneading my dough on this pastry mat. If you don't have a pastry mat, you can always do it on your countertop. But this pastry mat is a lifesaver, it's non-stick, so I always like to do my pastry work on this mat. Anyway, this is how you're going to be kneading the dough. You're going to be pulling it and stretching it. You're going to be pulling it and stretching it. This requires a bit of hand muscles and it can be a bit funny when you're just starting, but it's worth all the efforts and it's actually very enjoyable. If you notice that your dough is too sticky for whatever reason, dust it with some flour or dust your pan with some flour and continue to pull and stretch and also round it like this, just to give the dough some breathing space, and then you can go back to pulling and stretching again. You want to do that until when you pull your dough like this, it doesn't break easily. So this is me doing the window test and that didn't pass, so I am going to continue um, to knead the dough. So it's not the easiest thing to do, but it is worth it because it makes your bread nice and fluffy, and it is something therapeutic for me, to be honest. I enjoy cooking. So after kneading for about another 5 minutes, my dough was ready. Sorry, I didn't get the repeat test on camera. So you're going to divide your dough into half like this. You may make use of a scale if you really want it to be accurate, or you can just eyeball it and just divide it in half. So one half is going to be for the coffee. We're going to be mixing the coffee into one half, and the other half is going to be plain. So here is your coffee, and this is just regular instant coffee, whatever brand that you have, and you're going to add the water into it. Please make sure you follow the recipe exactly the way it is. Maybe it's better if you use warm water, because we're making a paste. We're not making a syrup, so we need it to be pasty. But I did use cold water, so that was a bit tricky for me to mix, but in the end I was able to dissolve all the coffee. So this is the half that I'm going to be using for my coffee. So here you're going to spread this out with your rolling pin, because this can get really messy and you don't want for that to happen. So spread it out a little bit, and then you're going to spread your coffee paste in like this. Make sure to just spread it on as much as possible to cover the entire dough that you rolled out. And then you're going to fold it like this, because otherwise if you do it any other way, it's going to get really messy, except for if you're using your food processor. You won't really mind, but if you're doing it by hand, this is how you want to go about mixing your coffee into the dough. So you're going to start pulling and stretching again, like we did with the dough initially. So here the coffee is beginning to come through, and yes, you're just going to continue to do that until your coffee is mixed in totally into this dough. I would like to thank you for staying with me. I really appreciate you for your amazing support. This YouTube journey has not been easy, I'm telling you. It looks so easy on the outside, but when you get into it, oh my God, it's not as easy as you think. And I'm just still hanging in there, and I'm thanking you all for your support, because that keeps me going. So you're going to continue to mix your dough like that. You can use your rolling pin for some time, but not for too long. Anyway, once it's totally mixing, you're going to grease a bowl like this, and you're going to place your dough in. Cover it with cling film or a kitchen towel. And the other dough also is sitting in a mixing bowl. I just grease the side of the bowl with some oil as well. Cover it, and because I needed this to proof quickly, I'm going to be making use of the oven. Please do not turn on the oven at this point. Please, I repeat, do not turn on the oven. But the hack is to bring a jug of hot water into the oven. So I place the dough in the oven. Do not turn on the oven. Put a cup of very hot water in the oven and set your timer and allow it to proof. I proof this for about 25 minutes. And while that is proofing, you want to do some cleaning and wait on your dough to proof. But if you're not looking to prove your dough quickly like myself, if you have the time, you may just want to put it in one place in your home. Or if you live in a warm place, leave it on your countertop until it is doubled in size. So this is me checking on my dough, and it looks like it has proven, and it's looking really nice. So bring it out of the oven, and we're going to do the finger test. So the finger test is where you dip a finger in dry flour, and you're going to poke a hole in your dough. If it doesn't close back quickly, that means your dough is okay. See, look at it. The hole is not closing back. So you're going to deflate it gently like this, and you're going to bring it out of the bowl again, and we're going to begin to shape our dough at this point. You're going to do the exact same thing with your coffee dough, and you're going to set both aside. Please make sure you place a cling film or a kitchen towel on top of it because you don't want your dough to dry out. You're going to grease your pan at this point while your dough is resting. It is important to leave your dough to rest again. All this resting time and proofing time is going to make your bread to be nice and soft. So it is important to allow them to rest. If you notice, the dough has proven a little bit more again, and at this point they feel so light. I can, it's almost as if I'm not holding anything. They're so pillowy soft. So you're going to begin to roll it out. Trying to achieve a triangle. Oh my god, did I just say triangle? Actually a rectangle. It's what you're trying to achieve. I don't know why I said a triangle. Anyway, you're going to roll it out, you're going to move the dough in the direction that of the shape that you want it to be, and you're going to continue to roll it out. I'm going to roll it to like 28 by 18 centimeters rectangle, and you're going to do exactly the same, a bit smaller for the coffee dough, and place them on top of each other like I have done here. I wasn't so satisfied with the shape of my coffee dough, so I brought it off again and I began to roll it out again because I wanted it to have that sharp edge as much as possible. So I was using my scraper and my rolling pin. So after some time, I placed it on top of the white dough and it was looking perfect. So you're going to begin to roll it from the bottom like this, and you're going to make sure you're rolling it tight because otherwise it's going to look crooked. So you're just going to hold it gently but make sure your rolling is tight, and in a matter of minutes you've rolled it like this, and you're going to seal the end, and this is just by pinching on the edge like so. After rolling it like that, my daughter likes to cut her own like this with thread, but I like to make my own into a loaf. So make sure everything is well sealed, and you're going to turn it upside down, making sure that the same side is facing down, and you're going to place it into your greased pan like so. So like I said, my daughter, when she makes this recipe, she would at this point begin to use thread to cut it into those round shapes like a cinnamon roll, but I like to make mine into a loaf. So you're going to cover it again with cling film or kitchen towel, and we're going to allow it another rest time. So at this point I covered it again with kitchen cloth because I was just so much in a hurry at this point. I can't wait to eat this bread. So while your bread is resting on the countertop or in a warm place, you're going to preheat your oven to 180 degrees. After about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the condition of your kitchen, my bread has doubled in size again and it is ready to go in the oven. Look at that. It feels so light. It looks so big and puffy in the pan, but it feels so light. So I decided to make some decoration on top of the loaf. So I just decided to cut it these shapes on the top of my dough. Please keep that if you do not fancy that, or cut whatever shape that you like. Or you may even decide to top it with some sort of nuts, maybe walnuts. And if you have watched this video up to this point, you are the GOAT. You are the greatest of all time. Thank you so much. I do really appreciate you. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Leave me a comment and please give this video a like as well. Next, you're going to brush your dough with your leftover egg. Make sure to brush it very well because this is going to help your bread to brown and give it that glossy shine at the end. Next, you're going to take this to your oven and place it in the middle of your preheated oven. You're going to bake for about 20 to 25 minutes, so you want to make sure that you're checking. So what I did was to set my alarm to 15 minutes first, because this tends to brown quickly at the top. So at this point, after 15 minutes, I came with a foil paper and I covered my loaf and placed it back in the oven. So after baking for a total of 25 minutes, you're going to bring your loaf out of the oven, and there you have it. Your bread should look like this or even better. Careful when you're bringing it out of the oven not to drop it on the countertop so that it doesn't fall. So you're going to place it there gently, leave it to cool down a little bit in the pan, and then you're going to remove it from the pan and place it on the cooling rack. So once it comes out of the cooling rack, you're supposed to leave it until it cools totally before you cut. But because I wasn't going to wait, because the aroma is just so intense at this point, and every member of my family, they kept coming to the kitchen, parading the kitchen and asking me if it is ready. So after some time, I just had to cut into this, and this is what the inside looks like. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. The full list of ingredients is in the description box. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Oh my.